Hello everyone, it's Jordan James here from Realmark Karratha. As the heading suggests, I want to sell when it gets to the peak. It's a conversation and a statement I hear at least once a day at the moment by the conversations we're having with some vendors. And I totally get it. Like, people have held on for a long time from the last market cycle where things went up and then they crashed very quickly. Some people got burnt very bad, and some people have done well, and some people have managed to hang on up until this point where things are looking a lot more positive for property owners in terms of prices, and that statement is now coming out. I want to sell when it gets to the top. Now, without getting into market trends and going into what is actually happening and how long will it take and how long will it last and all those things, a short piece of advice I've been giving to vendors is I would get really comfortable with a figure that you're happy with. And the reason I say that is the conversation normally goes something like this. I say, "Hi John, when are you thinking of selling?" They say, "Look, we want to sell when we get to the peak." I say, "Great, when's that going to be?" And they say, "Well, I don't know, when do you think it's going to be?" And I said, "Well, I don't know either." I don't actually have a crystal ball, but one thing I do know is that when it does get to the peak, the only way we actually know that it did peak was that it actually went down again. So, I would get really comfortable with a figure in your mind around what it is you want to sell for. And then when the market gets to that point, you can know in your mind, you can make that decision and you can actually pull the trigger on selling your home or your investment property, whatever that may be. But I would just lose that dialogue around your property if you are having that dialogue, or you're having a conversation with your husband or your wife regularly around when we're going to sell that property in Karratha. Don't say when it's going to hit the peak, because you actually don't know when that's going to happen. Actually, nobody knows when it's going to happen. It's all a bit of a guessing game when it comes down to it. And yes, we know everything. We try to find out as much as we can about projects and what the market trends are doing and days on market and the number of buyers coming through home opens. There's a million things we can track. But at the end of the day, you've got to be comfortable with your decision when you sell your property. So get really comfortable with the figure that it is, and then have an open conversation with your real estate agent, whoever that may be. We hope it's us, but if it's not, have that conversation, and that way they can guide you on when to sell, rather than either rushing to market and underselling or waiting too long and missing the boat, as the saying goes. So I hope that helps, and if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us through any of the social platforms, or our office is 9197 2600. Thank you again. See ya.